The judge allowed a piece of evidence into trial. You wind up losing the case. Why? Because you believe the judge never should have introduced this piece of evidence into trial. Have you ever heard of something called harmless error? You haven't? Come join me for a moment. I'll share with you exactly what it is and why it's important to learn about before you ever decide to bring a lawsuit here in New York. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. So now, you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit. Maybe it's for an accident case or medical malpractice or even wrongful death. And now you're contemplating what's going to happen if your case goes all the way to trial. You may be thinking, hey, you know what? There are times when the judge has to make rulings of law when an attorney wants to ask certain questions. The judge has to make rulings of law about whether certain documents, certain evidence gets admitted to allow the jury to see it and evaluate it, to decide who's more likely right than wrong. A judge has to make a snap decision about an argument that's being made, about a question that's being asked, about a piece of evidence that an attorney wants to introduce. And now what happens if the judge makes the wrong legal ruling? There are times when the judge may not be correct in making a legal ruling. Well, guess what? Then it becomes possible for the losing party to go ahead and try and appeal it to the higher court. That's known as the Appellate Division. Now, the Appellate Division looks at the documents on the record. They look at the transcript to see what was done. What was the issue that was raised? What do you think the judge did wrong? The attorney who loses the case has to argue that. Now they look to see what the issue was. What happened at trial that now the judge had to make this decision? And then they look to see, did the judge make the correct decision? Now, when a court determines, when a higher court, the appellate court, determines that yes, the judge was incorrect in how he ruled, but you know what? It didn't make a difference in the outcome. In that instance, the court will say that was harmless error. Yes, it was an error, but it was harmless and didn't affect the outcome. That can happen. In that case, the losing party will still lose. Why? Because the appellate court, the higher court, will have looked at it and said, yes, we do realize the judge made a mistake. But you know what? So what? It didn't make a difference whatsoever. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you just to give you an inside look at what goes on in these trial cases involving accidents and medical malpractice and even wrongful death here in New York. You know, I realize you're watching this video because you likely have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit, but you have questions that need answers first, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a great day.